What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. My name is Uzi and you're watching 90 More, back again with the greatest football videos on the internet. Back again for all the certified fraud gang members out there with some breaking news for the rest. Breaking news, which is quite sad news really, in that Mikel Arteta, none other than the Arsenal boss himself, has tested positive for the coronavirus. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta, the latest high-profile person, at least, to test positive for the coronavirus. And Arsenal releasing a club statement, which we are going to have a look at over here. I can't quite believe that this is happening. You know, the likelihood is that they're going to be fine. He's going to be fine. The people that are affected by this virus should, by and large, be fine. But in this video, what we're going to talk about is not only what's been happening, but also, I guess, how the Premier League should probably now be kind of suspended or cancelled or declared void, because some things really are a little bit more important. This is serious stuff, but it is a reality. Let's have a look at the club statement from Arsenal, who say our London Colney training centre has been closed after head coach Mikel Arteta received a positive COVID-19 result this evening. Arsenal personnel who had recent close contact with Mikel will now self-isolate in line with government health guidelines. We expect this to be a significant number of people from Colney, including the first team squad and coaching staff, as well as a smaller number of people from our Hale End Academy. We've also temporarily closed as a precaution. So the manager has coronavirus. I'm sure he'll be fine. Most people are going to be fine. The really high-risk guys who are the elderly, or at least that's what we're being told. But it does seem that fit and healthy people can pick it up, and lots of people catching it. It's just as to whether there's anything more serious than that. And, you know, God willing it isn't. But it has led the Premier League to call an emergency meeting to decide what to do with the rest of the season. I mean, because we really need a fucking meeting, don't we? Players, managers, and God knows who else are picking this up and spreading it. All around the world, people are doing stuff, and we're doing nothing in this country. It's quite funny, isn't it? MLS is suspended. NBA is suspended. Serie A is suspended. La Liga suspended. All UEFA youth tournaments suspended. You've got Champions League being postponed. CONCACAF is suspended. They're talking about Euro 2020 potentially being delayed a year as people prepare for this kind of... It's like a zombie movie, isn't it? It's like a lockdown. Fear has spread. And it's probably a good idea, for now at least, to kind of cool down on the large gatherings of people, just so that we can kind of improve our chances of survival. So I couldn't believe my ears today when I've tuned in to see Boris's speech. Oh my God, this fraud. We're not clicking that one. Maverick coronavirus strategy. Boris Johnson says the UK faces the worst public health crisis for a generation. This is serious stuff.
That coronavirus, COVID-19, continues and will continue to spread across the world and our country over the next few months. We've done what can be done to contain this disease, and this has brought us valuable time.
Now I'm lost here already. We've done what we can. What have we done? Have we done anything apart from tell people to wash their hands?
Pandemic, and the number of cases will rise sharply. Indeed, the true number of cases is higher, perhaps much higher than the number of cases we have so far confirmed with tests. And I've got to be clear, we've all got to be clear, this is the worst public health crisis for a generation.
So basically, there's a lot of people out there who we don't know have it. They might not even know themselves because no one's been tested.
And I must level with you.
Please do level with me.
Many more families are going to lose loved ones before their time. And
did you hear that? It's thrown me a little bit.
Many more families are going to lose loved ones before their time. If we delay the peak even by a few weeks, then our NHS will be in a stronger state as the weather improves and fewer people suffer from normal respiratory diseases, more beds are available, and we'll have more time for medical research.
There you heard it from the Prime Minister himself. Lots of people are going to die, but we think it's best if we do nothing. If you've got a cough, just go home for a week, yeah? And make sure, of course, that you wash your hands. And that's it, really, isn't it? That's it. That is actually it. In fact, he made a point of bringing his doctor out to explain why it was actually okay for football matches to keep going on. Massive gatherings of like 50, 60,000 people, all touching the same gates, you know, holding the same barriers, coughing in the cold, bumping into each other, screaming spit and just spitting on each other, yeah, all spreading all kinds of... But it's fine, right now, that's fine. That's fine. Everything's normal. Just wash your hands, right? I mean, not really, if I'm honest, not really. Not really. It's not really that reassuring, is it? And the fact that the Premier League and the Prime Minister, but the Premier League especially, because they don't need the Prime Minister's permission to make this decision, but they've decided that everything is okay. Everything is okay. This is not troubling enough. Yeah? What's actually going to get me the most is that now that we've got a high-profile case, now that Mikel Arteta and so many other players have tested positive, now we're going to do something. Oh, that's it. That's it. Just as long as I know. Thank you. Great to know that you are so comfortable actually announcing publicly to the nation that lots of people are going to die, and I'm just going to sit here and hope that your immune system can work out what to do. This is, I mean, it's quite tragic, isn't it, really? But it's like life, tragic comedy, yeah? Arsenal Football Club all over this, isn't it? I mean, it's just... Imagine how many people voted Boris in that are actually now going to be falling victim to his handling of this coronavirus situation, this pandemic, this mental stuff that's going on. Arsenal releasing a statement today saying that Mikel Arteta has tested positive for the coronavirus. Not only that, let's go further in. Let's actually go further in, because Arsenal players have also been placed under quarantine. Arsenal players who've come into contact with Arteta have been placed under quarantine. So is this the potential of more players contracting the virus actually enough to get games suspended now? Will the league be cancelled? Or are we going to cash in and not do anything? I can't believe that they won't act now. It's sad, really, because in all honesty, football is nothing without fans. You're watching these games on the telly. It's actually weird, isn't it? No fans there. It's just dead. It's like normal guys playing football. You can hear the ball and every shout. It's kind of cool, but it's dead. There's no atmosphere. It's awful. And football won't be able to survive without fans, not for too long. So I understand why they're trying to hold back, but it's a complete mess this now. And it's a little bit more important than will Liverpool fans actually get to see their club lift a trophy. Do you know what I mean? Gabbiadini's gone down. Rugani's gone down. Arteta's gone down. 3 unnamed Leicester players. And probably a whole bunch more that I haven't mentioned. Is they going to finally say enough is enough now? Or are we just going to continue to desperately milk this cow and put people's safety second? Honestly, it's astonishing. I'm going to try and go through some of the tweets. The Burnt Chip, not really sure why Prem games are going forward this weekend. Darren LFC saying the upside to it is he'll be fine and immune for the next days. He won't have to sit indoors for months on end if Piers Morgan has his own way. Pablo says your family and loved ones will die. Be prepared. That's reassuring. Been a global pandemic since January. This donut talking about in March. Yeah, it's weird that the World Health Organization took that long to... really come clean about it. It's quite possible that that's held us back. And it is quite interesting seeing the world acting and England doing nothing. This is quite an interesting tweet that one of the little frauds sent in. It's from 2013, BBC News. It says, new deadly coronavirus, not infectious enough to pose global threat. Look at the date down there, 2013, incredible. This has not aged well. Anyway, Mikel Arteta, I hope he's well. I hope they're all well, actually, because from what I've heard, Mikel Arteta took training this morning and a lot of players have come into contact with him, and it's quite possible that other Arsenal players have contracted the virus. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll get to find out in the coming days and weeks as this continued pandemic takes over the world. We've got Danish footballers being quarantined as the Premier League bans handshakes. We've got Juventus put out a statement earlier today. COVID-19 update. It's so fucking bizarre, isn't it? It's like being a zombie film. 121 people are currently undergoing voluntary isolation following yesterday's news relating to the footballer Daniel Rugani's positive test. They've sent home football players, staff members, directors, entourage and employees, all under voluntary home isolation. And they say voluntary, but in Italy the country really is on lockdown, and it has been quite effective. UEFA have announced that the Champions League obviously is delayed. How are we going to do it? The Euros might have to be delayed a year. The Champions League is being delayed enough already. The Premier League is basically delayed. All the other leagues around the world are shutting down. Football is dying out. The coronavirus is winning right now. Hopefully we as people can fight back. Stay safe, wash your hands, and, don't go into massively overcrowded places if you don't have to right now, because even though you might be fit as a fiddle, it's quite clear that there are people out there who are fit as a fiddle and they're contracting it as well. Even if you do contract it, I think you still do stand a great chance of surviving, but some people won't make it, and that's what we're going to have to face up to. And hopefully that and fixing that problem as quickly as possible is more important than, 22 guys kicking a fucking football around in shorts for big money. Forget the money for a second. We're making enough of it. You can sort out deals between yourselves about new TV rights and whatnot. Let's get serious, because look at it. It's taken over. 15,000 cases in Italy, 10,000 cases in Iran. Spain's got 2,500. France 2,500. And that is in the last week. Their total cases all a lot more than that. Spread in Italy has been kind of crazy, and they're using Italy as like the model, but I do think the infrastructure in England is able to or should be able to cope with slightly more. The only thing is, if you start shutting down schools, all the parents who work in hospitals are really going to struggle to find babysitters. I don't know how it would work. I really don't know how it would work. The NHS might not be able to cope, and I think that's maybe why they're delaying doing that. But as far as Premier League games go, there's just no excuse. You're encouraging people to go on public transport, and, we just need to cut it. Just cut it, I think, anyway. At least suspend it and come back fresh again, either next season or when this has all died down. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new, and drop the video a damn like if you breathe oxygen. For now, though, my name's Hugh Izzy, and this has been a Corona Ting.